blessings come my way. That is Cleo Ice Queen with Princess Natasha Chansa. It is all royalty on this particular track. In case you're just joining me, this is the Sundown with Nsemiwe the Vibe, and we are discussing determination. So, how far do you want to go, and who will take you there? Are the answers that we might answer after this particular interview that I am having with Luka Ngosa, who is a final year student at Evening College, but has a very interesting and inspiring story regarding of how he has reached where he is right about now. So, Luca, before we took that musical break, you were sharing of how you dropped out of your first year after your bursary was cut to half. So now, how did you get back into college, and how has life been after getting back to college to now being in your final year?
Oh yeah. After the buzzer was cut off, that was in first year now. So coming in term three, of which it was to us it was term 2, which I didn't report. So I remember I think it was last week of 2020 was like the very same year. Okay, it was tough because because where I was working, I stopped hoping to say I'm coming to school to be in school. Because I just told them to say maybe I'm just coming here to do some my piece work. Yeah. So then even when we closed school, when I went there, we were like, I know business is not doing fine, so we can't like employ you at the moment because of the disturbance of COVID.
All right.
So it was a thing of moving up and down, also trying to push to find someone who can also like come in and help me with the school things. Looking at whatever I'd gathered from 2017 until 2019, like everything I'd lost them because I things that for home nagulisa vina few things that I'd left with my friend. And that was the person that after dropping out from school, or after the closure of school, I went to start staying with him. Yeah, so trying to move from one office to another, just looking for help, of which I couldn't find help. Then the last week of the year, it was on the midweek service. I was in the service, despite passing through challenges. One thing that I don't like abandon is things of God, like church. Yeah. So in the service, the pastor was like, I know this service is going to be we're not going to have the normal service like the one that we usually have every Wednesday. So this one, I'll just give it to people to be giving testimonies what God has done for them this year. So people they're just there, waendapo apasapo akambapo. So he was just looking at me. So after everyone was done, before he closed, he was asking me question in the service. When do you want to go back to school? I was like, I'm in school. I stopped school, was it? And that was the very same week when I was even planning to say, on Friday, I'm getting all these books, because even when I was home, friends here in school, they used to send me some work, pressuring me with the school things. But because of that, I didn't list. I wasn't feeling comfortable. Like every time when I post something on social media, they're commenting about school things. So I had even to sell my bigger phone to say, I think for school, I'll put it on odd. Upper face, let me try to figure out what is my direction next year. In the very same week when I was planning of going and get all the book and put them in trunk and lock it up, that was the very same week when he told me to say, you have to go back to school. Now, where I'm going to start from, because I didn't even withdraw. Like I didn't even stop like in a proper way whereby I go to school, I write letters, I do everything. I was like, no, just go and find out. That's how I started like making some contact. I came here, I wrote some letters explaining my situation and everything. Not that they were like, no, you can come back in school, but you can't proceed with your friends. since you have missed a term, meaning you are going to join these guys who are coming in as our first year, so that you should start with these people. Then church was like, okay, we'll be helping you with what you have. When they need some fees, we'll be adding, we'll be topping up with it, what you have. So that's how they like. I was like, okay, the school agreed to say the church will be helping me in 1 or 2 in raising part of the 50% that was cut off from my tuition fee, and then the accommodation and food and other expenses, it was too falling on my side. So I was like, okay, it's okay. My main focus was that it was just the tuition fee, because I never wanted like to graduate and then without getting a paper, because it would be more like nothing. Was the school when I'm going to go 30 pin, Zambia up to pay the 30 pin. So I was like, okay, I think in this way it's okay. That's why I had to come back in school as a first year again. Whereas my friends, they are ahead of me with the 2 terms, because even them when we were in first year, term 1, them they were in first year, term 3. So they wrote their exams in April. Yes, I just continued with the school. First year, just like that, doing some piecework from there and there. Despite still, life was hard again, but I managed. In second year, I saw an opportunity to say, I've got some friends of mine who are working in the security of company within school. Why can't I just also join them? Because I think most of the time, because the issue of accommodation, it was still a challenge. Because being in school, a lot of money is needed for assignments, what, and no one is there like to give me help. Only a few friends of mine that at least when I'm paying back on Dalama, send me something. I have to make 50 kwacha. I have to make 100 kwacha, just like that. I've got few people who are just like my friends, not really like relatives. They're the people that at least I would say they also help me. Yeah. So I was like, I think let me just push for me to be in the security company. That was
and that's how you got your job.
Yeah, one of my friends, he told me to say, no, I think there's a vacancy for someone to be employed. I was like, okay, no, let me come in. And by then, in first year, I contested in the school politics for my section. I stood as the academic secretary, top academic secretary, of which I won. So in second year, I was the academic secretary. So on top of my issues, I had also added on other issues of standing in for people again. So I will report at 16 at work. Just after class at 16 hours, I knock off from class. 16:30, I have to be at work. In the first time, she's so manning like putting on a uniform for Maronda.
Then machokoza my pano bamaenda bana.
Pano bamaenda pano.
And then when no vala from your security.
Imagine.
So how did you handle that?
Yeah, my first, it was a challenge. But to my side, me, I was like, okay, to me, this is what I am. No matter how much I can try to cover this, it can't be covered. So this is me. So the managers were like, your uniform, so uniform first. And no, just give me the uniform, I'll be putting it on. Then when I'm going to buy the uniform, now buy uniform, now I'm going to location, first I'm going to business block. That's where I was guarding from. So every time when someone say, "Why not pass some praise?" You Bishop, push that channel up. No, there's something I'm doing. Even yesterday I found you here. Even today you are here. So from there, I'm working. Oh, you're working. This is a good thing. A few people start like knowing to say, I'm also part of the security company. So they're like, no, you're doing fine now. You're doing fine. No, it's okay. Others, no. Now if it's getting cheat of each other, those things were by some they were just teasing you to say, now if it's getting cheat, some I know it's a good thing that we've done. That's how I adapted to it. People could even come and ask questions whilst I'm working. But dude, I let them with my questions. In assignment, I explained to him or her. no, hapa nkwenda so. Mathematics, later. No, physics, where are you? No, campus so. What are you doing here? I'm working. Oh, I've got a question. Just like that. I handle them off. Every weekend, I used to conduct classes. From our section, there's something that I'd introduced to say academic clinic, helping those freshers who are slow learner students, even those who are fast learners, but if they are not understanding it with lecturers, then we used to go there and discuss with them, explaining things to them to say, as we've done this before, so this is all about this. Could do some topics in physics, in math, chemistry. Yeah, so that's how even them, they understood to say, oh, this guy is now also working. So even sometimes they could even pass where I'm working. From after moving me from where I was guarding from the business block, I was brought the garage near the principal's office or the main library. So I could see every day I could see my friends going into the library to study inside, and I was left with no option but to study from outside. Panse pakala icha beningo so baby janain bangena tawagadinga waberenga mkati bachoka and this is just like that.
Okay, so we're running against time, but so your life, one can I'm sure even the listener out there has noticed that you've been helped by different people who are not your relatives. So I just want to get your take. What is your opinion about people who don't value friendship and people who don't value people who are not their relatives? There are those youths who are like, you could be very unganiuza, since you were blue wanga, sungani pass a fresh. So what is your take about people that we meet and how we treat people that we meet out there on the streets and just in our communities where we stay?
Okay, one thing that I would say is that as they say, never judge a book outside before read the context inside. So there are people who are out there who are working the job that they don't even deserve to work. One thing that I can assure is that not everyone who's in the office is qualified to be in those offices or doing the job that they are doing. There are people who are better who are better out there who can even execute the duty that they are doing even more. So whenever you find someone who's in need, I'm sure it might be academically, it might be spiritually, it might be physically. Let's treat them with conscience. There are people who do certain things not simply because they want to do those things, but simply because they don't have guidance. Believe me, I've never sat down to get knowledge from my parents. I've grown up as more like someone who's a discovery. I learn things through others. I would just say, I think this is sense. And the one thing that I love about myself is that I love reading. I grew up with that passion of knowing how to read, because all the places that I used to stay, Mashant compound, where maybe so every time I'm forcing myself there. Never understand, but I'm just there just try to get something, pushing myself. So there are people out there who need help, of which there are people also out there who can give help, but simply because some of them they have folded their hands to say they can't help. Please, to those who are listening out there, if you see a potential in a young man, a young girl, a young girl, a young lady, because one thing that is killing us a lot is that sometimes, okay, it's good that they are also trying to build the lives of a girl child, but I believe there is also a boy child out there who's suffering. I was left out. I think it was in grade 8. I was left out on the sponsorship program because I was a boy. When people came to look for people to sponsor, they just got few few guys or boys, and then a lot of girls. So I was left out. But despite that, I never lose courage to say, since I've done this, let me just stop. Like my friends, because a good number of them, they are just drunkard. When I see them right now, when I go back home, I see them. There's a very big difference. So if you are there out, you have got the opportunity of helping someone who's got the potential. Please do so.
All right. So one last thing, Mr. Ngosa, what is one thing that keeps you going whenever you feel depressed or you have a lot of pressure, you have a lot of bills to handle? I'm aware you are paying your fees even up to now in your third year. You are also sending something to mommy in Ndola and also to your 5 younger siblings. So what's one thing that you tell yourself or one thing that you heard from someone that keeps you going or gives you the courage and energy to keep pushing and keep winning even when your background somehow isn't, to some, they would have given up a long time ago. But for you keep pushing and keep making sure that you get what you want and what you think you deserve. So what is that thing that just drives your passion and determination to achieve the highest thing that you want to achieve?
Okay. First of all, from my childhood, I don't know. There's just something that has been more like putting me in the right direction. Whenever I'm doing something that is not okay, it is not going to work out. I've tried to do a lot of things. The moment when I see that this thing is taking me away from my path, it will never work out. So I believe one thing that gives me courage when I look at the where I'm coming from, it's the issue where when I look around me, there are people who are doing fine. There are people who are doing it. Even there are some who are helped, even those who are not helped, but they're doing it. They're doing fine. So one thing that keeps me moving or keeps me with the verb to say, I think even me, I have to list there. One, I want to be independent such that I'll be able to take care of my family nicely. The family that I have now, maybe in the family that I'm going to create for my own family. And I'm looking forward to be that person, to be one of the person that are going to raise people, to help people as well. Because I believe there are a lot of children who are out there doing all sorts of evil things, not simply because they want to, but because they have not understood and handled their pressure nicely. They end up doing other things just to release their pressure. I do interact with a lot of my friends. I'll ask them, Iwi, why you bema for work? No, I've got pressure. Man, when you do this, are you going to solve the pressure? No. Why do you drink? In our pressure meeting. My pressure when I made. All of us are passing through pressures. But we've chosen the better way of solving the pressures through hard working and involving ourselves in a lot of activities.
How is your girlfriend taking you paying bills for yourself, your mother, your siblings? And I'm sure girls in Lusaka are also quite expensive. They need wigs, they need lotion, they need to be taken out. So how are you managing?
Oh yeah, I think that part is one of the things that I had to sit down before I came here. I had a girlfriend, yes, back home. But the time when I was applying for school, looking at the qualities of that person, the way she was, I was like, I think I can't manage going to school with someone. So we had to make our relationship like finish, like end. So from the time I came in school, I've never had a girlfriend. My girlfriend has been books and yeah.
So you just told her, I'm going to school and this is where we end because I'm starting a new life as a student.
She was more like a problem song. So even that, just a few months she called me, no. So I was like, tell me, and you need to be serious with what you are doing. She was asking me, why did we start talking afterward? Because you had blocked me. And I've got no reason of blocking you. I know I was in a relationship, but I see that I'm guys, never any blocker. So now phones are like, you, why Basila now you? I guess the same reason that why Basila now. What is the reason? you guys will say nifuta. So okay. So she was someone who's never used to understand. Like, she will give you questions, and then she's already has answers in her head to say, "Afuna muze baso." So kampasa answer inangu, it becomes a quarrel or a problem. So I was like, sakwanzana baby. Looking at the nature of the course I'm going to pursue, it needs someone who's determined, who's focused. Otherwise, my guys, my relationship, I see so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngosa.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Alright, so that was Mr. Luka Ngosa right here on the Sundown, the open chat segment where we get to have simply conversation that builds lives and also